Hi there. I'm Bruce Paulson with Determined Solutions Search Marketing. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you my process of trying to figure out if you should use a keyword when picking a domain name, when picking a website domain name. Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't, and I'm going to show you my thinking behind it. So I just went online and just Googled some local SEO niches and I narrowed it down to these. Now this will apply to most businesses, especially smaller businesses. Now, if you're going to build a big brand like Nike, like a big running shoe, if you're going for a brand, then you probably don't want to do like Nike running shoes.com. You probably don't want to do that. So this is going to be for people that, but Nike is a huge company that's got a huge budget. And so they're going to have different SEO needs. So this is going to be like smaller businesses. But there's still some pretty big businesses that choose to put a keyword in their domain name. But like, as you can imagine, for Nike, for like Coca-Cola, it doesn't make sense. So if you're aiming for something like that, but then there's nothing saying that you can't start off with having a keyword in your domain name and a brand, like a brand plus a keyword. So Nike shoes. And then as you get bigger, you could buy just the brand and then redirect. You could do, but we're going to keep it simple. This is going to be it's not only limited to local local businesses, but in this, because I needed to have some examples, this is what we're going to do. So let's look at, and I'm just showing you in real time how I go about if a client was to come to me, they're going to build a new website or whatever, like how they're going to go about choosing their domain name. And most of the time I got to bring this up because every now and then they think about it. But a lot of times they don't. But it's very important, and it can save you thousands of dollars in like a year or two of time if you do this correctly. So we start out by we'll start with roofing, right? And we'll look at what Google thinks, right? So I'm here in Durham, North Carolina. It's a fairly big city, but let's choose Raleigh is like our next door neighbor. Let's choose Raleigh and see what Google shows us. So Raleigh roofing company, Raleigh Roofing Company. Yeah, let's see what's going on there. Okay, so these are ads. Okay, so this is important. So this is the Google My Business, the Google Maps. Now it says Raleigh Roofers, but let's hover over this to look at their domain name. So if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, when I hover over this thing that says website, you'll see the domain name. And it says Raleigh-roofers.com. So this is just keywords. Like I'd almost be surprised if that's actually their name and not some type of lead gen thing. Because it's Raleigh Roofers. Pretty bland. So this is another one. So this is bakerroofing.com. This is the Baker Roofing Company, bakerroofing.com. And then we've got Old Raleigh Roofing and Repair. And let's see what we hover over. Leak SOS. Okay, so these two have a keyword in the domain. This is just keywords like they're trying to show up at the top of Google and it's working. Or maybe they just really are the Raleigh Roofers. And then these are brand plus keyword, which bakerroofing.com, that seems like a good way to go. And these guys are leak SOS. So as a human, I can say, oh, the roof is leaking. I need to take care of this SOS. I don't know if Google can. So That I'm going to say does not have a keyword. So let's look at the these are like just a pure organic listings, right? So this is number one, Baker Roofing, right? Baker Roofing. Number two is Scrooge Roofing Company, Raleigh Roofers, right? So right away, I'm thinking if you're a roofing company and you're going to build a website or you're going to build a new website, I'm thinking that you want to be brand name plus roofing. That's just the feeling I'm getting so far. Localqualityroofing.com, Skywalker Roofing, North Carolina, NC, GAF. That's like the big industry roofing supplies or something. And these are just directories, so they don't count. Apal Roofing. So in this case, if I'm a roofing company, I'm just going to be like, so my name is Bruce, right? So I'd be like bruceroofing.com. And if I had an old website that was just like bruce.com, but I'm in the roofing business, I probably, it's going to take more time, effort, resources, right? Time and money to rank for these type of searches that I want to rank for. So let's look at, I'm guessing plumbing is going to be pretty hard on the keyword in the domain. So let's look at something like a personal injury lawyer. I can't spell personal injury lawyer, Raleigh, NC. Now, this stuff I'm sure is super competitive, right? Whitley Law Firm, and let's hover over there. It says website whitleylawfirm.com. Okay. Riddle and Brantley LLP. JusticeCounts.com. Do I consider Justice Counts a keyword? Sort of, kind of, maybe. But if you're going to do something like that, I would just go ahead and get the keyword, like lawyer, law firm, something like that. I would get it in there. Hardison and Cochran, lawyernc.com. Okay. I'd probably go like try and get your brand in there somewhere, but it's working, right? So they got the keyword in the domain name. Now we look at, these are the first organic listings. Now here we go, martinandjones.com. So you don't need to, this proves you don't have to have a keyword in the domain, because Martin and Jones, we're not searching for a Martin and we're not searching for a Jones. We're searching for a personal injury lawyer, and they're showing up at the top. So you can do that. Whitley Law Firm, there we go. Law firm, keyword in the domain. Farron, okay, so here you go. Farron, that's no keyword. This is a directory listing thing, so that doesn't count. LawyerNC.com, Hardison and Cochran. So they just went for pure keyword and location. Miller Law Group NC. Attorneys, so that's a directory. Thorpe Law. So how many like real websites do we have right here? Because the reason why this is a good one is because I know this is a super competitive niche. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actual websites, businesses that aren't directories. So we got 6, and 1, 2, and 2 of the 6 don't have a keyword. So 1/3 of these don't have a keyword. Now, another thing you can do, this is a tool that I have that it'll help. Just it gives you like a general idea. It's the Moz bar. This is on Chrome. It's just an extension. It's free, but it kind of lets you gives you a little bit more information about the SERPs. So it shows you something called domain authority. Google doesn't use domain authority, but domain authority goes from 0 to 100. It just gives you a rough idea of like what kind of competition you're dealing with. So like when you buy a brand new website that's never been used, it's like a 1. And then you have like Amazon, Google, Facebook, those are like 100. And so everything else falls somewhere in there. And so this just kind of shows me quick and dirty, like these guys are at 28, 38, 38, 50. Now, as you can see, it doesn't mean just because you have a high DA that you're going to rank at the top, but it gives you like an idea, at least about the amount of work that you have to do to build a website and get it to rank for certain searches. And so this doesn't tell me anything like I need to do it one way or the other. This is kind of cool to see that they don't have a keyword in the domain, and the domain authority is only 28, where these guys do have a keyword in the domain, and their domain authority is a 38. This one, no keyword and domain 38. So apparently you could go either way with using my quick and dirty like analysis. You could go either way with a personal injury lawyer for Raleigh, NC. Me personally, because like, look, so this is another tool I have, a Google cost per click of 61.53. That's not exactly accurate, but that's a decent ballpark. So people are paying a ton of money per just one click. So what that means is this is super competitive. If I was going to be creating a law firm website, if I had a law firm and I was going to make a website, I wouldn't mess around. I would be Bruce's law firm. I would get the keyword in the domain in this situation, just because, I mean, super competitive. Just for a click, someone's paying over $60. Let's try another one. So power washing. I used to have a pressure washing business, so I always called it pressure washing. Let's do pressure washing. Pressure washing Raleigh, NC. Dan O'Neill. So he's just got a Facebook page. So this is obviously going to be a much lower competition, right? So this is Pine State Power Washing LLC. Their website is Pine State PW. Now, PW is not good enough to, in my opinion, count as a keyword for pressure washing. That's just not specific enough. So I'm going to say that they're just a brand website. Blue Wave pressure washing. So in the bottom left here, you see Blue Wave Clean. Now, clean could be anything. That's not necessarily pressure washing. Blue Wave Clean. Raleigh Power Washing. So maybe most people do call it power washing. Power washing. Pressure wash. So these Groupons, Home Advisor, they don't count. They're directory sites. So they're not going to help us. No Pressure Power Wash. Premier Property Services. So it's almost about half. For pressure washing, power washing, whatever you want to call it, you could go either way, pressure or power washing. I probably would, because, I mean, who's really branding? Who's going to be the Nike of pressure washing? Nobody. And it would just make everything, you would have to spend less money, and you could basically just, in this instance, low competition like this, I would get a keyword. Now, basically, and here's what I would do. I would get like Bruce's pressure washing, right? So that's going to be like one keyword. I wouldn't do like Bruce's pressure washing in Raleigh nc.com. That's just too long of a domain name. I don't like that. I like brand plus keyword in the domain, right? And I like just one keyword. I don't like multiple keywords, and I don't like brand plus location. Um, and and as you can see in most of what we've done, except there was like a lawyer one or something where it was like law and C or something. I don't really like that. I like brand plus keyword. You keep it simple. You get the keyword in there, and it just makes everything easy. And you can take care of other things like location with. It's much easier. You don't need to get that into the brand name necessarily. Now, if you already have it like that and it's working for you, that's fine. I'm just talking about starting fresh. Let's look at pest control. That's pest control is pretty competitive, or at least it can be. Oh, so yeah, let me look at pest control. Pest control near me. Near me searches are huge. All right. So EcoMan Pest Solutions. So look down here in the bottom left. It says ecopestsolutions.com. So you got pest in there, and we're looking for pest control. So that's pretty good. Orkin, okay, Orkin is orkin.com. So they're big, huge company, been around forever, huge budget, marketing budget. So these guys are Clear Defense Pest Control, and they're cleardefensepest.com. So 2 out of 3 of these guys has pest in the domain name, and everybody knows Orkin. They've been around forever, marketed forever. So, like, not surprising there. Yelp doesn't count. It's a directory. TrianglePest.com. Economy Exterminators. Now, that's close enough. That's closely related that Google can figure out pest control exterminators. So I would say they do have a keyword in the domain. Clegs, they don't. Orkin, huge national one, doesn't. I know Clegs is pretty big. I don't know if they're a national company. Angie doesn't matter. This one doesn't matter. Their directories. Go Forth. I'm not sure if this is a directory or if this is Go Forth Pest Control. Okay. Interesting. So they don't have it. Bulwark Pest Control, Stomp Pest Control. Again, in this situation, I would do brand plus pest control.com. Just because it's just because everywhere, like consider this, all the citations that you build, all the business listings and stuff, they're all going to have your brand plus your keyword and then pointing to your homepage. So any social media things you have would be like brand, keyword, pointing to your homepage. It just, you can do things using a little bit less resources with a keyword in the domain, and you don't need to go crazy. But get this. This is what I really like to do. Unless you're just dead set on doing brand.com, and if you are, just know that brand.com, it's going to take a little bit longer. Usually, nothing's set in stone with SEO, but it's going to take a little bit longer, and it's going to take a little bit more money, time, effort, and resources. It's going to take a little bit more money with. It's going to take a little more time, effort, and resources with brand.com than it is brand plus keyword.com. And like I say, it's not set in stone, but that's just how I go about looking at things. And in general, I fall on this, although my website is determinesolutions.com. And so I've done it both ways. These days, unless I really have a good reason for this, I lean towards this. So it's a question that I get a lot, or it comes up enough, and it is important, and it's actually worth spending some time thinking about. But hopefully you found this helpful. This kind of went 20 minutes, kind of went a little bit long, but hopefully this found you. Hopefully you found this helpful. And if you do have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at seo@determinedsolutions.com, or you can drop a comment below and I will do my best to answer. Okay, thank you.